Well, just calm down. Everything's under control.
Okay.
Um,
So,
we'll be fine. You got me in your corner. We're good.
okay.
It's very
So
normal to feel like this, so it's cool.
yeah, honestly, it's like now it's there. It's just a little bit like, oh God, here's the responsibility that comes with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He wanted to do Magnolia, and I said, please don't do Magnolia, do white.
Yep. White's better.
Um, so it's just a case of now hoping he does what I've asked him to do. We're looking for him to do his job by Friday.
Right.
But now that leaves me
Mm-hmm.
getting the furniture. Really, I should have done it on the day on
Well,
Saturday, but then
you got time. I
I've
think,
got time.
yeah, we don't need to rush. He's the one who's trying to rush.
He's trying to rush, yeah.
He's trying to
And that's
rush because he wants the payment on the first. But if we've got to wait another week after that, then so be it. Like,
okay.
he's going with you now, regardless. It seems like he's very much wants you to take it on, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if we've got to wait a few more days, then fine. It's we're not going to rush at all. Um,
How do we navigate that then? So obviously, when I spoke to him, he said, oh, but how does it work? I said,
mhm.
you do your stuff. Give me
Yeah,
2 weeks so I can do whatever I need
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
And then I'll pay you your rent kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Okay, I've got a few things I need to ask.
Of course.
One, so essentially what it is I've got money, but not in my account.
Yeah,
So if I was to pay him rent, I need to get money put into the company account one night and then
correct.
pay him rent from the company account.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that was my first question.
Hmm.
And then the second question is
Hmm.
not to do with this, but really, do you know when you're doing expenses and stuff from like company expenses and things like
Yeah,
that? Obviously, for
yeah,
me, when I do my sole trader expenses, I spend out my business account,
yeah,
and then is that the same as a limited? Because obviously, I've got no money in there at the minute. I haven't
yeah,
put any money in there. I'm
yeah.
just paying out my personal. But is it working the same way as a limited company as a sole trader would, whereby when it comes to it, your expenses all come out of the same account? Is
Yes,
that right?
yes. That would be the ideal scenario. Yeah, for your accountant.
Okay, fuck me.
But that's
Okay.
not going to be for a year down the line. You've only just started the company, haven't you? So,
So what about these expenses that I'm incurring, such as the spare room expenses?
well, you should start putting the money into your business account and
Okay.
start paying it out of there.
Okay.
But
Okay.
as long as you've got the screenshots and stuff,
That's
it comes to
yeah.
you speaking to the accountant, they can
Yeah. Okay.
cross the T's and dot the I's.
Okay. Again, going off that whilst I'm here. So, obviously with me, when I get paid for my sole trader account, I just like take it willy-nilly out and spend it and
Yeah.
just transfer the money out. Whereas
Hmm.
is it a little bit different with the limited? I know you're not an accountant, but obviously you've been doing this. So like how would you pay yourself?
I don't really pay myself for a while, you know.
No,
You, I,
yeah, obviously, I know all that kind of profit. I will keep in that, and
yeah,
then
keep
put
it.
towards the next one. But when it eventually, and it's been premature. But once you
Yes,
do start
making
paying,
money.
yeah, making money,
Yeah,
is it? Does it
you
work
pay
differently?
yourself. Well, your accountant will give you the best way to pay yourself, but it will be like in either like a dividend, so like
Okay,
a quarterly amount that you'll take from the business.
all right, okay,
But that's the most tax efficient way. But you do get like a personal allowance as well. I think of 12,700 or 12,500, something
yeah,
like that.
170, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
but you haven't got to worry about any of that stuff
yeah,
for.
yeah, we're not, yeah, no. So now I need to get onto the point of furniture.
Mhm.
I haven't looked at the list yet, to be honest. But is it like duvets and stuff like that? Isn't it? It's like
It's
all things
everything.
like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much
Yeah.
everything that we buy. There might be some little small things like duvets and stuff that you might want to shop around for, but I mean, Asda, Tesco.
Yeah, I've got duvets right here, that I bought on in the sale, and I've just dashed them in the kids' room. So like, I'm like,
Well,
right, yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
I've got
Let's get
those. Yeah,
resourceful. Let's get resourceful
yeah,
because we want to keep this cost down as
yeah,
much as possible, but we want to make it look as good as possible.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
like with the work that he's doing, I think you're gonna have to do your
yeah,
part with the furnishings to make it
yeah.
really look good.
I know. So the girl that I teach, her mom's like really good with stuff like that. Like she
Mhm.
makes everything like amazing on like basic stuff. So I said,
Yeah,
Anna, you need to get to the house and you need
yeah,
to
yeah,
sort
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Call
yeah,
in
I'll
some
do that.
favors for
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
So she's gonna do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
brilliant.
so I'm not good with that kind of stuff. I can get things on a budget and that, but I
Yeah,
don't know how to really. I need to make it look appealing, and it really is what I'm
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, yeah. You need to
Mm,
make it look appealing. Obviously, like the standard stuff, the bed, the bedside table, like little bits and
yeah,
bobs. You'll see on the list anyway what we get, some
yeah,
things from IKEA and stuff. But the more you can make it look like unique, like if you've got someone who's like creative like that,
mm,
that can help, even have like a bit of a vision. We've done all sorts before, like with even like things like pallets you can get from like down the road, Sainsbury's or whatever. People can make them into
yeah.
little like chairs and little
Yeah,
cool.
that's not for me. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not for
yeah.
you, but
No, I don't know how to do it. Yeah,
yeah,
some other people can do that stuff. Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah. And Facebook Marketplace is great for all that other stuff.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, ultimately you just need to make it look as homely and as appealing as
that's
possible.
possible.
Photography and that as well. How are you with all that sort of stuff? Marketing. You got an iPhone, right?
Yeah, I've got an iPhone. I don't know how to
That's all right.
exactly.
I'm gonna make you a little checklist of what to do. There's a
Okay,
couple settings on your phone that can make the camera
okay,
look a bit better.
okay.
Um, you might need to get some sort of like little, not one of these, but like there's like little gimbals that hold the phone. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah,
when you
yeah,
do a walkthrough, it's not like shaking around everywhere.
yeah.
You need to have a good video like walkthrough of the whole thing when it's done. But I think to get a couple bedroom shots would be good. But I think as soon as we can get at least one bedroom photos done and get them up, that will improve the quality of the ad. Um,
Okay.
Hopefully you're getting close to that maybe next week at some point once he's done
Yeah.
it. I think another thing you could do is get the advert on other portals as well.
Okay.
So Open
Like
Rent,
that.
yeah, Open
Okay.
Rent do like a service where they put it on Rightmove and everything for you, but you do need some information from our friend, the landlord. You do need like the deed or the title or the like proof that he owns it basically, which is a normal thing to ask for. So
Okay.
I think you should try and get that off of him. I'll put this all in a message for you so you know what to say,
Okay.
but you need the title deed and you need like some sort of identification of his, like a driver's license or passport.
Okay. He hasn't mentioned anything about a deposit, and I really don't want to say anything in case he starts saying,
Yeah.
oh, you know.
Yeah, you don't mention it. If he hasn't said nothing, then we're not going to mention anything.
Mhm.
Um, if worst case scenario, we could pay 2 weeks if he was really like, I really
Okay.
need something. But I think because of the condition it's in, it's not like in great condition, he would want a deposit, wouldn't he? He'd be like, I want a deposit because it's all
Yeah.
brand new and but because
Yeah.
it's not, it's like he's probably just thinking, let me just get this rented to the company and move on type of thing.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do, I think.
Yeah.
So, it says on the contract, we will put aside so much money
hmm
towards a repair. So how
hmm
much money is that going to be? Because I can't remember what I put on the brochure. I think I put
It's probably 6%, isn't it?
ye- did
If it's
I?
copied us, it would be 6%.
I changed it to what you put. You said you changed yours to something else recently, and I changed to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, 6%. It's normally
Okay.
7.5. 7.5 on a brochure. That would be for like a bigger HMO house.
Okay.
But 6%, I think, is what we offered Josh. Um,
Okay. 0.06
yeah, it's gonna be
times 1,200. 72 quid.
yeah.
Okay. So am
Um,
I actually putting this aside?
Whoa, you will put it aside. You'll have it in your business account, but you don't have to
Okay.
need to put it aside. But things might break. Someone might lock themselves out of a room. Someone might break something small in the house. The toilet piston
Okay.
might break. These things cost like 30 quid, £40 to fix, and hopefully it
Okay.
doesn't happen. But
But technically, if I've got the money, I can just,
yeah, you just pay for it.
yeah.
But 9 months out of the year, nothing happens. And then maybe one or two little things happen. You fix them, some blinds break, things like that. Um,
Okay.
Generally speaking, it should be fine.
What about locks then? Because we discussed locks.
hmm
And is that the best thing? Really, is the best thing to do, isn't it? Really, locks and
Yeah,
that.
I mean, like,
What are they looking like? What kind of locks are we talking? Are we talking like the one where you put the key in? Like the
yeah,
ones that
nothing
you
too
spin?
fancy. Just something that makes, if you were to rent it to individuals, it makes them feel like they've got their own safe room and their belongings are locked inside a room. So if they go home
Okay.
weekends or whatever, they know they can
Yeah.
leave their work stuff and no one can get in, basically.
Do you put plates and that in there?
In some of the houses we do, yeah, we do. If we might do it as an essay, then we do like plates,
Yeah.
toasters, kettles, all that
So would
stuff.
I need to get toaster and kettle and that then?
Yeah, it's going to be on the list. Toaster and kettle will be on the list.
Do you need like a Hoover and that there then?
Yeah, yeah, you need a little Henry. We get the Henry Hoovers normally. They seem
No,
to last
that's too
longer.
expensive now.
They've
Oh,
gone up as well, haven't they?
yeah, yeah. I got like this little cheap one from. B&M. I thought, let me try this one out, and then if
Yeah.
not, I'll go and get them and put them in there.
Yeah, you
So
just
yeah,
need one Hoover. One Hoover should be good enough. The more
yeah.
things you can put in there that allow people to keep it clean, the less you're gonna have to pay on like actually getting it cleaned yourself, I guess.
Cleaned, yeah.
Make it
Okay, so I need a cleaner in there, and it.
maybe once a month, fortnightly, maybe.
What would they do? Would they do the rooms then, or would they do just like the communal areas
It
then?
depends. It depends. Some people don't want their rooms cleaned, and if they're like locking their doors and
Mm,
home for the weekend, then some people will just be happy to live in whatever state they live in. But the communal areas, I think you should definitely clean. Um, Especially if you're doing individuals. If we manage to find a group, which fingers crossed we do, then you can leave them to it, and they should really like clean up after themselves. Um, but if it's going to be like four separate people that you put in there, then I think the more you can encourage a clean to happen fortnightly or monthly, I think that's probably in your best interest, really.
okay. Is there anything else now that I need to do? So I need to go and get the deed of the bloke,
Hmm.
and I need to get his ID, don't I?
Yeah, you need a
Okay.
picture of his driver's license. You need a some sort of photo of the deed so you can get it onto Open Rent.
Okay.
Um, and then Open Rent will put it on Rightmove, Zoopla, everywhere else for you. So keep doing what you're doing, and we'll send you the information that you need. And let's
Okay.
bring it home now.
I'm so stressed, honestly. I feel sick. I'll let you know how it goes then.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure I'll speak to you in a minute on WhatsApp, no doubt.
All
But
right then.
have a look at that list. You'll feel a lot more comfortable if you have a look at the list and start ticking things off.
Yeah.
And just make sure you're clear when you speak to him next about starting once you've looked at it and whether that's next week, Monday, you need 2 weeks, a clear 14-day period, not 10 days, not 1 week.
Yeah.
You need 2 weeks to get in.
When would you sign then? Because I think he wants to sign. So
Yeah,
is that a case of, let's say,
you could send him the contract next week, but it needs to, or even on Friday, but it needs to be dated for
or
2 weeks time from Monday, like
okay.
whether that falls on the 7th of June or something like that, whatever,
Yeah.
that's when you start because just say to him that's the only way you feel comfortable. Like you need to get in there and get it marketed and you need to like walk around it and have a look and make sure he hasn't just like tried to bodge some stuff because
Yeah.
that might happen and you might say, well, hold on, could you actually fix this as well and fix that as well? And that
Yeah.
might take another week.
Hmm.
So we're not going to rush. We can't rush.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah. And anyone who's
Okay.
messaging you on spare room, just tell them like it's not going to be ready for a couple of weeks. Just string them
Okay.
along until we get there.
Okay. All right then.
Relax. Don't worry. We got
Okay.
this. You're good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I'll speak to you on
Okay.
WhatsApp in a minute.
Yeah, speak to you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.